You're listening to the What the Wrestling Podcast, the show that brings you all things wrestling with your host, RJD.
Oh, you already know what time it is. We back, baby. And man, these guys can't seem to get it together. What the hell is going on in AEW? I don't know. Maybe you know, but I don't know. Somebody got to figure this out. Because this is getting out of control. Out of control. We're going to talk about what happened before Dynamite and then what happened during Dynamite. But first, y'all know what time it is. Check out my socials. Follow me. RJD, RJ699 on Twitter, RJD199 on RJD_199 on Instagram.
You stupid.
My bad. RJD199 on Snapchat. Most importantly, follow What's the Wrestling on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. Follow What the Wrestling on Spotify and Anchor. More outlets coming soon. Let's not waste any more time. Let's go. Yes, yes, yes. 'Tis I, RJD here. Welcome to What the Wrestling, everybody. As you already know, I am your host, RJD. And man, oh man, we got a lot going on in the AEW locker room.
Emotional damage.
I gotta sit back for this one. We gotta talk. We need Andrade. We need Andrade and Idolo. And Mr. Spanish God himself. We need you to come to the middle of the circle. We got to have a talk with you guys. Both of you. But before we do, hit the like button. Like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. You guys already know you have the information. If not, hit rewind about 45 seconds and watch. Hit the like button, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Now, with that being said,
Halfway. Take a few steps back to go.
You ain't got the answers, man. You ain't got the answers.
I don't got the answers as to why we're still talking about people having altercations at AEW backstage. Again, we still on this? This what we doing, huh? This what we doing? This what we doing, guys? So apparently Andrade and Idolo, if you were on and you checked out my NXT review, go check that out. You would see yesterday that Andrade and Sammy had a back and forth on Twitter. Now, according to Dave Meltzer and Brian Alvarez on Wrestling Observer Radio, both of these guys were talked to. Andrade said, I'm good, nothing's going to happen. Sammy said, I'm good, nothing's going to happen. If you missed what they said on Twitter, then you go back and watch it to give you a real quick synopsis of what happened. Andrade had an interview on a media platform in Spanish. He said only person who have a problem with him is Sammy. Said he hits too hard when he confronted him. Sammy was like, I'm good. But then Sammy, I guess, saw this and put up, you're a liar. You didn't say ish to me. It sucks that you couldn't get over. Andrade said in 2 places. So there were shots fired.
Shots fired! Shots fired!
Then he said, you know what? Andrade said, I'm not going to beat you up. I'm professional, but I'll see you on Wednesday. Fast forward to Wednesday. So they were involved in an altercation. So TMZ first reported that in an incident that happened at AEW Dynamite show in Washington, D.C. on Wednesday, sources tell us that words were exchanged and then things turned physical. Sammy allegedly pushed Andrade, and then Andrade tried to hit him with the ice, the Keith Thurman 1-2 punch, and then it was broken up. Now, if you've seen Dynamite, you know that Sammy had no marks on his face, and Sammy also was the savior, and he won the match. So, on first thought, I was like, after this Andrade was sent home, why didn't they send home Sammy Guevara if they both participated in this fight? That's really stupid.
Stupid.
But then, upon listening to Brian Alvarez and Dave Meltzer, because this is a continuing, ongoing situation, apparently Andrade waited for Sammy. He saw Sammy, he went up to him, allegedly, spun him around. Words were exchanged, and then he tried to hit him with the ice. Now, whether he connected or not on a punch, who knows? There are various variations of this story coming out, so we don't know who to believe. But according to Wrestling Observer Radio that I listened to, he said, Meltzer said that one punch did connect, or a couple of punches did connect, but obviously not flush, not that hard, and then it was broken up by security. But man, this is just all around. This is an L. Let me take you guys back in time real quick. Remember a couple of years ago when AEW Dynamite was this fun family place to be for the last 2.5 years? It was a fun place to be. It was a family place to be. Ruby Soho came in and said, I love this place. It's like family. A bunch of other people came in and said, man, I love this locker room. It's awesome. You had your little bit of Big Swole saying they need to work on a couple of things. Then you had a person over here saying they need to work on a couple of things. And everything was okay. But the family atmosphere, everybody loved. It was just like, perfect. And then all of a sudden, 6 months ago, or something like that, maybe 6 to 8 months ago, you start to see cracks in the armor. First, Cody's like, I'm out of here.
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
Tony Khan picks up all these WWE guys that, Vince really didn't want. And then you get Punk, Danielson, and Cole, and Keith Lee, and Swerve, and Buddy Matthews, and Black, and all these other people. That's cool. Cool. Ain't nothing wrong with that. And Athena. All great pickups. But then we start hearing stuff leak out. We got Punk losing his mind at the scrum, taking matters into his own hands. Maybe he could have did that a different way. You got Omega and the Bucks getting suspended. Punk getting suspended. You got Hangman. You got talk of Hangman having stuff. You got the stuff with Kingston and Guevara, with Kingston pie facing them, which Eddie took accountability for. And then you have this that happened shortly after the other stuff with Sammy. And it's just like, you just had a fight a month ago. A big brawl in which somebody got bit, somebody got hit with a goddamn chair, like 5 of your top guys suspended until the investigation is over. Who the hell knows when that's going to happen? One of your other top guys has to cancel his goddamn vacation because you have to call upon him to save the company. This is madness. If I'm in AEW right now, do I gotta like protect myself at all times? Because it seems like every couple of weeks somebody's getting into an altercation backstage. So if I say something, if I'm a talent in AEW, if I say something to somebody, is it going to be a fight? If I disagree with somebody, is it going to be a fight? If I chop somebody too hard, is it going to be a fight? If I do an interview that a person doesn't like, is it going to be a fight? So we can't have disagreements as men and women without it being a fight. We're back in high school because our hormones are raging, right? Our hormones are all over the place. So everything got to be a fight. I'm not going to lie. This looks bad, man. This looks bad.
You stupid.
Perception is reality. And the perception of AEW right now is that TK, love him to death. Thank you for AEW. But TK can't get a lid on his own goddamn talent. He can't hold it together. The perception of AEW is the talent are out of control, and all they want to do is fight each other when they have a disagreement. They can't be professional. Remember when Eddie Kingston called, what did he call WWE? A slop shop or something like that? That didn't age well. That was what, 2 years ago? Year and a half ago? AEW needs to get a handle on this shit. And the speed of the pack is the speed of the leader. Tony Khan is the leader. He is the leader of men. I don't know if they need to get somebody to teach them how to use social media. I don't know. And then I don't know if they need to hire somebody for that. I don't know if they need to hire somebody to talk to the talent and be like, yo, bros, stop with the fighting bullshit. I don't know what, but things keep. Remember, I said it on yesterday's show. We didn't hear any leaks 2 years ago, a year ago. No, nothing got leaked from this company. Nothing. We all speculated about things, but leaks about backstage politicking and all this extra stuff, we didn't get leaks from AEW. Part of the reason why Punk and Bryan signed, because as I said yesterday on NXT Review, go check it out. Brody Lee was hurt. Only the people closest to him knew how hurt he really was. Nothing got out to the Dirt Sheets or TMZ or Wall Street Journal or anybody. A quick 2 years later, you got things leaking into the press. You got people fighting all the goddamn time. This is outrageous, man. And like I said yesterday, if they want a TV deal for more money, they better be careful and they better stop and get a handle on this bullshit right now. Straight up. Because if I'm one of Discovery, I'm like, yo, bro, you want more money from me? But you can't even control your talent? Your talent doesn't respect you enough not to fight? They don't respect themselves enough not to be professional, but they obviously don't respect you, because if they did, they would be professional. None of this. Now, listen, we don't know specifics and what was said 100%, but if you got a disagreement, I have disagreements with my coworkers every day. You don't see me out there trying to swing on them, unless it's like they put hands on me or it's something crazy egregious. But saying somebody hits too hard in the ring, and then you go on Twitter and you, fuck you, you're a liar, you can't get over. Come on, bro. Some things are better left unsaid. Listen, you can't always take the high road, but in certain instances, you got to take the high road. Straight up. And to be honest, Sammy Guevara needs to watch it too. He needs to watch it too, because yes, he's homegrown. Yes, he's Sammy Guevara. Thank God for Jericho for helping to build this man up. Plus, he has excellent matches. He's a phenomenal talent. But this is two 2 altercations with you or 2 instances with you in the past 2 months. The common denominator is you. Now, even the stuff with Eddie Kingston wasn't his fault, but is Sammy saying stuff that's going to get him heat? Because, and listen, I hate to bring this up, but I got to add the context. Ever since he got with Ty officially, and then they got married and everything, the fans have turned their back on Sammy 100% because of the way that he got engaged the first time, and then next thing you know, he dumped her, got with Ty, or allegedly, you know, they parted ways amicably, and then he got with Ty. Now Ty's his wife. You know, that got out to the public. The public made opinions about it, and now he's got go away heat. And then you hear about the stuff with Eddie Kingston. He called Eddie fat, and Eddie didn't like it. And then now you hear about this stuff, and it's like he's such a great baby face, but he's such a heel as well. He's got such a punchable face when he's a heel. And it's like now there's a lot of nonsense going on around Sammy. Sammy's probably like, man, F this. I don't give a shit. You know what I'm saying?
Stop the cap.
But you need to watch it because you don't want that reputation. This could potentially affect Sammy Guevara's career. You don't want the reputation of being difficult to work with or the reputation of being a cancer in the locker room. And I'm not saying he's that. He's not that. But you don't want the reputation that you always have a problem in the locker room. You don't want that. That might affect your money, man. You don't want to affect the bottom line. Hell no. You don't want to affect the bottom line. So Sammy needs to be careful. AEW needs to get a handle on this nonsense. These guys are fighting too much. And in the end, it's going to cost you money. TK needs to lay down the law. If you fight backstage,
Get the fuck out of here!
but TK don't want to fire nobody. And I don't know if this is Andrade trying to get himself fired. I don't know. I don't know what's in the man's head. Could it be? Maybe. But maybe he really wants to go. WWE contacted a lot of people through feelers of other people. And I'm assuming his wife is there. So, you know, obviously that might be where he want to be. Triple H used him to perfection. So obviously that might be where he want to be. But just because you're available don't mean Triple H is going to scoop you up off the street. There still has to be a reason and a plan put in place for him to pick you up. Because just like Vince said, Vince was letting people go and he was like, hey, maybe I'll give him some more people. Ha, 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 ha. So you don't want to be stupid about this.
You stupid.
I hope that Andrade chills out. Now he got sent home. It would suck for him to be there another 2-3 years, whatever his contract is, and for him to get paid to sit at home. That would suck because he's a professional. I'm sure he wants to work. He likes his job, I'm sure. And you can make more money when you're out there. Absent, you know, when you're not out there, you can't sell merch. You can't do a bunch of different things. So it would suck for them to pay him to sit at home. But at the same time, come on, man. We got to get this ish under control, man. We got to get this under control. We have to. AEW, Tony Khan needs to lay down the law and needs to tell people, once, you're suspended. Twice, goodbye. And people need to, I mean, I know he's a fan at heart, but people need to start fearing this guy. He don't got to be a freaking dictator, but he needs to be a dictator-ish. Because when it's time to boss up, he got to boss up. And right now, it ain't looking too good. So they need to get a handle on this. Very, very alarming, the things going on AEW right now. But let's get into the show. Because we had some things here that I liked. So, we started off the show with Wheeler Yuta versus MJF. MJF's first fight, his first wrestling match in about 100 and something days, 129 days, something like that.
Surprise, motherfucker.
MJF can still wrestle. He's still really good. Wheeler Yuta got his arm worked over, and they had themselves a good old-fashioned wrestling match. The end came with the salt of the earth when Wheeler Yuta had to tap because MJF just wrenched back on that salt of the earth really, really bad. Now, the end of this match was very interesting because, if you haven't noticed,
You stupid.
MJF is a heel, but Wheeler Yuta, who he has history with on the Indies, asked him to shake my hand, and he refused. But then he said, you know what? He was thinking about it. But the firm came, and they messed it all up. So,
Nope.
MJF ain't shaking no hands. So they beat up Wheeler Yuta, and MJF got mad. He started to put on the Dynamite Diamond ring and reluctantly punched Yuta in the face with it until Lord Regal came out of nowhere and said, I wish you would.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Took out some brass knucks. If you know William Regal, you know about them brass knucks. He put them on and he said,
You activated my trap card.
MJF wanted no part of this and he got the hell up out of there. So, good for him. Next on this show, what the hell is going on? Next on this show, we had a segment. What the hell is going on here? Okay, that just went away.
You stupid.
How my notes just leave out of nowhere like that? Our computer was tweaking. That's crazy. All right, let's try this again. Later on, next up, back on track. Jay Lethal, everybody, versus Darby Allin. This was a good old-fashioned match. We had the end came where we had a lethal injection, but Allin reversed it into a code red for a near fall of his own. Saginaw Singh and Sanjay Dutt came out to make their way to try to distract Darby, but Darby's setting up for the coffin drop. Jay Lethal pulls him down, but he told Sut and he told the cronies, I'm going to do this on my own.
Stop it. Get some help.
And then he promptly, after a couple of pin attempts that they reversed, he got pinned with the Last Supper and he lost. After the match, he goes to shake, Jay Lethal goes to shake, Darby goes to shake his hand. He tells him to be a man, and Jay Lethal shakes his hand. Ring of Honor style. Good stuff. So we are probably headed to a Jay Lethal babyface turn, and I'm all for it. Next we had Warlow versus Brian Cage with Prince Nana. Oh, Nana. With Prince Nana for the TNT Championship. And these two brothers right here, let me tell you what these two brothers said.
You activated my trap card.
These two brothers got together. They looked at each other and they said, listen, TK doesn't want to put you on TV. TK doesn't want to put you on TV. You know what? We're going to go out there and show TK why we both need to be on TV every freaking week. Cool? Cool. Let's go. That's what happened. Because this match, I always say it's two big beefy dudes doing what two big beefy dudes do. But these are two athletic beefy dudes doing what two athletic beefy dudes do. I mean, after this, I was just like,
Give me a hell yeah. I said give me a hell yeah.
one hell of a match by Brian Cage, The Machine, and Wardlow. I mean, we had these two throwing lariats at each other. We had a suplex from the outside. We had a suplex from the second rope onto the outside, lifting up Warlow and putting him down. We had a whisper in the wind by Warlow. We had Warlow with the Hurricane Rana. We had Cage with the double head scissors. Jesus Christ. They just went back and forth. The end came with he put Warlow up for the suplex. Warlow came back with a spine buster, but Cage avoided that. He avoided the lariat. Cage picked him up, launched him down, but Warlow was able to kick out. Cage was looking for a power bomb, but Warlow gets out, hits 2 headbutts, and then hits him with a huge clothesline. After Cage, then Cage gets hit with the first power bomb, and then the second power bomb, the third power bomb, and the fourth power bomb. And the power bomb symphony was all she wrote for Brian Cage. Now, the only thing I didn't like about this, listen, W. Morrissey only got 1 power bomb. He was somewhat protected. Brian Cage should not be getting power bombed 4 freaking times. Because he's Brian Cage. And he's a massive man. And he should be protected like a monster. Because he is. That's the only thing I would have changed about this match. Give Brian Cage a little bit more protection. That brother needs to be on TV way more than he is. Wardlow, he's got the Goldberg entrance. He's got the I'ma kick your ass attitude. He's got all the momentum. He is a future AEW champion. I believe that. That brother needs to be on TV every week defending that goddamn title like Cody and Brody Lee before him. If not every week, every other week. At least 1 time a month for this guy on TV, no bueno. No bueno.
Get the fuck out of here!
One hell of a match by these two. The end came where the Gates of Agony came out and started attacking Brian Cage. They were at ringside. Samoa Joe came out to help, but it was still too much. But then who came out? But
Surprise, motherfucker.
FTR, everybody. FTR came out and evened the playing field. The Gates of Agony didn't want to leave the ring, but Nana told them, listen, Prince Nana said, listen, man, just wait. Just wait. Tranquilo. We'll get him. So I am thoroughly enjoying this. I cannot wait to see where they go from here. Good stuff. Next, everybody, we had Toni Storm, Willow Nightingale, and Athena versus Jamie Hayter, Penelope Ford, and Serena Deeb. Yes, please. These women can work. They went out there and had themselves a fantastic match. The end came where Athena dropped Penelope Ford. She was taken out by Deeb. Toni Storm wiped her out. Then Jamie Hayter wiped her out. Willow then super kicked her, only for Ford to come back. Ford came back. I think she hit she ducked a lariat and then hit a cutter. Willow drops her, but Willow ends up getting her when everything breaks down and hit her with the doctor bomb. And that was all she wrote. Willow Nightingale, Toni Storm, and Athena win. After the fact, Britt Baker gets in the ring and says Saraya ain't gonna do ish, but Saraya said, you know what? I'm tired of this. And she starts punching her, and Saraya is getting active. Let's go.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Does this mean she's wrestling? Who the hell knows? Is she cleared? I don't know. But if she's getting physical like this, throwing punches, and she did hit a super kick, this leads us to believe that she probably is getting cleared. Yes, please. So we'll see what happens with that. We'll see what happens with that. We had National Scissoring Day, everybody. This was my favorite thing on the show. Billy Gunn must be having the time of his life. 20 years ago, he was telling people, suck it, and everybody was having fun, and DX was on top of the world, and they were tag champs. Now he's telling people, scissor me daddy ass. This is daddy ass's house. And he is just as over now as he was 20 years ago. Wow. That's all I can say. So Castor and Bowens come out. They do their usual thing with the rap. They all. He says that they are the number one tag team in AEW. The most wins. The number one selling T-shirt of the year so far. Scissor me, daddy ass. Oh man, I love these guys. Bowen said they are homegrown talent with homegrown gold. And so AEW doesn't stand for wrestling, it stands for acclaimed every Wednesday. Bowens then says he was about to scissor, but he says, a spineless swerve or sneaky swerve will lead everybody to believe that we don't deserve this, but they do. And he said, you know what? Sneaky swerve doesn't know anything about anything, and everyone loves the Acclaim. He said Sneaky Swerve believed that they were the most popular team, but they were put together and everybody loves the Acclaim. Bowen says it's not Swerve's house. Billy Gunn then interrupts. It says it's Daddy Ass's house. Perfect. And the crowd goes wild. Crowd loved this, by the way. Next, we were about to get next Daddy Ass said, listen, I went to City Hall and I got you something. And they pulled out a giant pair of golden scissors, which Anthony Bowens was running around the ring, and he was like, listen, no running with scissors, okay? I mean, he is Daddy Ass after all. So after that, Max Caster then gets on the mic, while Anthony Bowens is like, 2 minutes. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. So he was getting his cues. Max Caster then asked everyone, listen, they had everybody, he said, I want everybody to hear to take your right hand and take your left hand and scissor the person next to you. And literally they pan out to the crowd and everybody's scissoring everybody. I cannot believe they got everybody to do this.
Stop it. Get some help.
This was fucking great. Max Caster then talked about greatness, mentioned how his father was on a Super Bowl team in Washington 40 years ago. And he said they could all agree that people love the Acclaim, and there's no right, there's no left, there's no blue. They wear pink, and everybody looks good in pink. They said they're doing their first ever bipartisan scissor to unite the country. But before they were able to do it, Swerve's music hits. And Swerve came out with this look like, emotional damage. This is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Shout out to Swerve. Swerve had this look like, this is the stupidest thing I've ever heard of. What is wrong with y'all? And he was like, y'all already know Rock beats Scissor. So he challenged Daddy Ass to a fight. Daddy Ass accepted at the end of the promo. But Mark Sterling came out after Swerve cut a promo on them and says he's been trying to tell everybody for months that Swerve is a bad guy. But the Acclaim weren't trying to hear it. Daddy Ass beat him up. Acclaim beat him up. He got hit with a leg drop by Bowens. Daddy Ass then accepted. And then they did the tri-scissor spot. And everybody went home happy. This is so funny because dumb shit like this, it's not supposed to resonate with fans. It's not. But I remember the first time Anthony Bowens was in a wheelchair and he said, "Scissor me, daddy ass." I was like, what? I legit was watching my TV laughing my ass off. I was like, what? And then he just kept doing it and kept doing it and kept doing it. And then the crowd took to it. And then the Acclaim, just everybody liked them. And then they've had that crazy ass match at the pay-per-view, and everybody wanted the Acclaim to win. They didn't care they didn't care about anything. They were, even us in the bar I was at watching that pay-per-view All Out, we were mad the Acclaim didn't win. We were booing the TV. And they just won us over organically. And they are themselves. Billy Gunn with them is like gold. I don't know who thought of that, but it's gold. The Acclaimed right now are like my favorite thing to watch. One of my favorite things to watch on AEW. These guys are entertaining. last night was sports entertainment done correctly. Shout out to the Acclaim. Shout out to Daddy Ass putting a smile on my face and entertaining me for about, 10, 15 minutes last night. What a segment. Great, great segment.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to be in the top 10 segments of the year. That will be one of them, for sure. Next, we've got Roosh versus the Hangman Adam Page. Short match. Hangman wins with the buckshot lariat after he lariats Roosh from the bullhorns. Then he went back out, hit the buckshot, called it a day. But after the match, Private Party came down with Jose, and they were about to try to beat up Mr. Hangman. But here comes Mr. Moxley.
Surprise, motherfucker.
And Mr. Moxley wasn't having none of that. He said, y'all better back up. And so after that, John Moxley says he has a lot of respect and he admires him as a person. But when the bell rings, he doesn't respect anything. Page then asked, and he told him, listen, we're going to have a fight. I like you, but I'm going to kick your ass. Basically, that's what he said. Page said, if you're so interested in fighting, we can fight right now. And then he says, you know what? He gets back into the ring and he says, you know what? You're a sweet kid. Like a lot of people around here. He said, you're a sweet kid, but like a lot of people around here, you said stupid things that get him in trouble. He says, you have 13 days. You best watch your mouth. Okay. Okay, sir. So in other words, he was like, my man, you got to move, bruv. You're doing too much. Go somewhere. Cat always trying to be a part of the damn, always trying to be a part of the action. But great promo. John Moxley is the MVP. He is the ace of AEW. John Moxley putting this company on his back right now. Legit on his back. It's awesome. Luchasaurus was in action. He killed Fuego del Sol, but he was about to beat up Fuego some more when Jungle Boy came out, and he said, "Listen, I told you not to." Christian said, "I told you not to come, but you came anyway." And then he reminded him. He said, "Listen, it would be easy for them to drop him and leave him in his piss and blood." But Jungle Boy got him thinking, "Why won't it happen tonight? It'll happen next week in his hometown of Toronto, Ontario, Canada." So they booed, they got mad, and everybody got tight. Then we had the main event: Bryan Danielson versus Daniel Garcia versus, what the hell am I talking about?
Stupid.
We have Bryan Danielson and Daniel Garcia versus Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara. This was a good match. Solid match by all involved. The end came when excuse me, I got a burp, but it's like not coming. All right, we ready. The end came when Chris Jericho suplexed Bryan Danielson through a table. And then he hit, Garcia got hit with the go to hell. He followed that up. He went for the shooting star press, but it got countered with knees. Garcia locked in the Dragon Tamer. But unfortunately, Chris Jericho whacked him in the head with the Ring of Honor title. That's no honor. How is that honorable?
Halfway. Take a few steps back to go. You ain't got.
That's not honorable. But he hit Daniel Garcia, and Daniel Garcia then got pinned, and that was all she wrote. Chris Jericho, Sammy Guevara win. Even though Chris Jericho did look perplexed, he really was like, I didn't want to whack you in the head, but I kind of had to. So it was good storytelling, and Sammy Guevara got the win. And that is how Dynamite went off the air. They did have I think a 15-minute overrun last night, which was great. I'm glad they had a 15-minute overrun. I wish they'd do it more often. The show had good pacing. They weren't rushing to do shit. Everything happened the way it should have happened. That's awesome. But all in all, a good show. But unfortunately, all anybody is talking about today is the goddamn altercation. Instead of talking about how good Dynamite was, I really hope that these guys find a way to coexist backstage and the locker room finds a way to stop this bickering bullshit, because it needs to stop. These guys are too great too talented. AEW is too precious to all of us for something bad to happen because they can't get their shit in order backstage. So we'll see what happens with the continuing developments of this altercation. We'll see what happens with Andrade El Idolo and Mr. Guevara. And that's all she wrote. And we'll see what happens with me, because here are my socials. Oh, you thought I forgot? I ain't forget. Like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. What the Wrestling? Enjoy, everybody. We are back tomorrow with the news. I'm out of here. Peace.
Dom DeMarco.